but I'm uncovering other things that I... There's a big piece of wood there! Why is there a big piece of wood there? Do you know, I realised this is quite an important part, and I'm sort of not filming it. The body's coming off, and, well, let's just explain what I've done. We have hoist and trolley. The trolley was already up there, no idea why. Maybe it was something to do with fitting that, I don't know. Well, these lorry straps are simply set up so that the one that is slightly looser is behind, and well, they're both now quite taut, and they simply go under either side of the chassis member. And, well, this is where I decided, you know, I should probably be filming. Notice there's a gap there. The body's already coming off, it's great. Now, I'd go and show you the other side, but I actually want to show you something a bit more significant, because I don't think it's quite going to be as simple as, oh, there we go, it's already started coming off, so it'll just come off. The reason is because of this bit. There's some extra metal there, and it's in the way of the body. I can't get in to chop the piece of metal out. It's definitely come up a bit because, well, you can see the line where it was. Johnny, edit where it was. Took me ages to disconnect the steering, but that was actually done by sort of jamming a screwdriver into it and then pulling on the steering wheel in there, and it just sort of, after half an hour of faffing about, it did actually come out. Now, do we have a gap at this side as well? If we do, it's invisible. Oh, there is a bit of a... maybe. No, maybe not. Okay. Well, regardless... Oh, for crying out loud, I can't even set up the camera here because I've put the bonnet there, which has got some lovely graffiti on it. Thanks, guys. One moment. Oh, by the way, here's a question for you. Scimitar owners, aren't bonnets supposed to be made of fiberglass on these things? Or are they made out of aluminium? Because if they're just made of fiberglass, why does mine rattle and sound like it's made of metal? I don't know how... I mean, the body moves when I do that, but because I'm moving at the same time, I can't tell whether the body's moving or the whole car is. No, I can definitely see that's moving. I can hear some gentle sort of cracking noises. Woo! Something moved. Oh, I know what it is. It's the bit, it's the bit on the wheel arches, isn't it? Now, this is the thing. There is no point trying to do this quickly. If I bring this and the torch, which I have no idea where I've placed the torch now, I'll leave it over here. Yep. That should now have clearance to get round. I mean, there we go. That, yeah, if I can pass my screwdriver through there, that should miss that block of metal. I mean, it feels wrong to be chopping something like that off when actually that's the bit that I'm going to remove later. But you know, with this fiberglass, you can sand it back and add, well, more fiberglass. The good thing is on this side, well, not really the good thing, but notice how the bulkhead section, or the wheel arch section, doesn't move, but the body, or the outer skin I suppose, does move. So I'm going to say that as I lift that, that's going to... oh, I've also just noticed the entire body moves off the chassis doing that anyway, so I say that's going okay. Oh, I'd not really spotted that before. So now that all the nut and bolts have actually been removed, I think, let's try that again. What do you think? Have I actually been doing this right? It's the next day. I've done nothing different, except I have found a piece of metal that potentially can go in place of these straps if I can get it under there, into the chassis point, and under there. But there is a quite distinct problem with it. Yeah, the problem is previous owners, and clearly not taking much care, or just age, I don't know, but if I were to do what I have been advised to do, which is try and use the chassis supports as opposed to the wheel arches, they've flexed a little bit, but they've probably flexed about 5mm inwards. No, they're doing alright. Well, this side isn't that much of an issue. There's a bit of flex there. It's fairly secure on here, but yeah, that none of this is. I mean, it's probably worth saying that there isn't actually a battery tray under there. It's all gone, but that bit is relatively solid, and that's the point where the body is actually being lifted from. So, you know, it's all wibbly and crappy and split here, but I mean that all needs repairs anyway. But the actual point in here, yeah, I can't flex any of that under this point. So yeah, sure, it wibbles in and out a little bit, but it doesn't go up and down. So I think it'll be okay. Sorry, but there's something bothering me. I know I've only moved it another ½ an inch, but there's something at this side that as I'm lifting it up... Aha! Appeared to be ripping fiberglass there. Is that a bolt that I've missed? I think it is, you know. Putting it back down again. I don't know where that'd be. Oh, I can't see, it's covered in sawdust. I'm glad I checked. Clunk as it goes back down again. I guess it's time to rip out even more carpet. And see if I can find where or what that is. That's something I'm doing off camera because I have no idea where I'm digging. I guess I'll measure where it is from the underside and then transfer it to the door and then go in. Ugh. I just went and asked Dave, how long do you think it took me to remove the 2 remaining bolts that I forgot to remove that attach the body and the chassis? He reckoned an hour. Well, remember on the camera, I suppose a few minutes ago for you, where I said, oh my god, it's what did I say? Oh no, it's 6:45. Well, I've been through and, well, we've put the lighting on the inside of the car. We've been and dug through the carpets, including some stuff that I've simply just thrown away because instead of fitting underlay or anything to this, they've simply fitted upside down carpet throughout the whole vehicle, which is, well, it certainly helps for sound dampening, but I'm uncovering other things that I... There's a big piece of wood there. Why is there a big piece of wood there? Yeah, there's basically there was one here and then one on the other side. That's the one that started ripping. This one appears to have just lifted the chassis up, so that was nice and strong. But yeah, these nuts and bolts, sorry, not nuts. The nuts appear to be captive because that stayed in there. He reckoned an hour. It took me a minute to remove each bolt. It took me 20 minutes to dig the carpet up. Yeah, I don't want dark carpets. I want quite light carpets. So this is gonna hopefully not go in the tip, but go to some other scimitar owner. So that should be it. That should be a case of remove my tools and the light from in here, and I should be able to simply take the body off. It's funny, when I do piece to camera like this, I have no idea whether it's focused on it. Can't be bothered tidying properly. Where am I going? Lighting. See, at the back, the idea is that the front lifts up to the point where it's rotated enough for the back to have a gap under it. I suppose if it was 12 feet from there to that point on the back, which it probably is actually, I'd have to lift it 12 inches here in order to get 1 inch at the very, very back to get the straps through. And I'm thinking that might be a bit of a problem with the way that I've got it strapped up here. Especially with the way that the doors don't seem to open and close anymore properly. I don't know. Problem with not having any fiberglass or scimitar experts on hand. I don't know, maybe I've just got to keep the doors shut. I mean, quite an obvious thing to say, come to think of it, but... No. Yeah, have a look at this. Yeah, you can see that that's slightly leaned to the side, can't you? Well, there you go, line it up with the bricks at the back. That's crooked. Ooh, pedal box steering wheel and everything. Maybe it's just heavier at that side. Well, as you can see, these little slits that I made in the bottom have definitely worked, because that's just moved straight past. Which is lovely. Oh, it is grating on it a bit, but better than it bloody was. Hey, I don't know. We'll go up a little bit more, see what it does.
Yeah, if it's not balanced, it's going to want to do that.
Yeah.
When you did the bars, I thought the bars were going to go under the car with the straps up to the hook.
Yes, that's what they were going to do, but when I noticed actually how weak and flimsy like all of this is, and the fact that it's broken through where the chassis did mount, just relying on that bit didn't seem enough. So I thought, well, the wheel arches and everything seemed strong enough, so that's kind of where it was, but then of course it's completely rotating at that point, so it's...
Yeah, because if it was done that way, it would be triangulated.
Yeah.
so it wouldn't rotate.
Yeah.
The way around that is to drop your hoist and run a strap from either corner to the hoist, and then the bar cart swing up and down.
Yeah. It's currently quite wobbly, as if it's sort of like still trying to lift the chassis a bit, which is mad because there isn't a single sodding bolt left on it.
Hey dear.
Do you think a couple of bags of cement would do it? Ah. Well, it's quite funny because this is basically just turning into a sort of confessions thing, isn't it? I figured out why it wasn't quite lifting up right. I think. I mean, the not lifting up straight is quite simple. It's heavier at one side than the other. It's not triangulated, as Dave pointed out. The pivot's there, so that's it, it tips over. It's on axle stands though, isn't it? So, as that lifts up, there's no weight there, it just pivots over on the rear axles. Axle stands even. I need to drop it to the floor, don't I?
Please don't follow me and kill me.
Alright.
Yeah. Going down. Whee!
How does that look with the back end lifted up? Bit like a 1970s dragster now. Oh, that's mint, that. Yeah, just leave it like that. Put a bigger axle under the back. Oh my god, that's so low. I forgot how small this car actually is. Look at that! There we go, we're on the floor again. And now I can take the body off. Yay!